Do you feel like you've got more of a relationship with Janelle than you do with Robyn? Like, when you moved away, I feel like if Kody and Nathan hadn't been there to see it, she probably wouldn't have shown up with that fabulous gift.
I'm the only one who finds it interesting how Kody and his wife are trying to rewrite history. I don't... it's so confusing. And also, I am here for Meri being unleashed. Meri is very protective over the family, and sadly the family hasn't been protective over her. I wish she could be unleashed, but I'm happy that she has Jen in her corner speaking the truth for her, even if Meri won't throw anyone under the bus. And oh my God, I'm happy for Janelle. She deserves this. She has worked very hard for this family, put in a lot of money that this family has used over the years, so she deserves her moment. And I'm happy that she finally got her farm and she can, develop and start to grow and be the best version of herself. I love her relationship with Christine. The fact that David was willing to drive her truck all the way across country. Oh my God, I'm here for this. And Kody, I think, is still grinding his nerves that this man is being the man that he couldn't be. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives season 19, episode 21. Yay, Sister Wives is back. That's good. At least I get something to watch. So we have the continuation of Janelle. Janelle obviously is driving from Flagstaff to North Carolina to live with Meri and Caleb. And so you have David driving her truck back. He's driving the truck with the goods, and then she is following in a truck with Truly. And so there's these conversations going on, and the main bone of contention, I think the family is aggrieved because of Robyn. Justifiably so, if you've watched it for the seasons, because there are certain things that she's done over the years that sort of make you question, did this person come into the family wanting to be a part of the family, or did she come into the family wanting to run that family and get everything she wanted? I think she expected all the wives to stay in and just go according to her plan. And so the wives packing up and leaving was never on her bingo card, because they were the financial resource that was going to finance the lifestyle that she wanted. But anyway, I digress. So Christine brings up this issue of the fact that, Kody wanted his wives to look very beautiful. So, for example, she gives an example of when they went camping, and Christine and Janelle were busy getting breakfast ready. I would assume Meri was doing something, because Meri has never been shown to sit down and do nothing, but obviously she's not going to be involved in this unless it's to paint her as the enemy. And she says, while we're doing all this, Robyn was sitting there doing her makeup and then doing her kids' hair and making sure everybody looked pretty. And so Robyn's excuse is the fact that she was pregnant. So she spent the whole night vomiting, and then she was busy getting herself ready. I would have said I had morning sickness, so the smell of food really made things worse, and so this is why I avoided cooking. Instead of saying I was getting myself ready, I only took a little bit. Robyn has always got an excuse for everything. Meri says she doesn't remember Kody so sort of wanting his wives to look a certain way, or asking them to sort of put on makeup and stuff, but she knew that he always wanted her to look good. That's why when they started dating, he took her out to buy clothes and stuff. So it seems there is this thing whereby the other wives were expected to live by a different standard as compared to Robyn, in the sense that Robyn got away with a lot of things because she was Kody's favorite, and when anybody else tried to do the same, then there was a problem. Christine talks about comparison, the fact that she felt that Robyn had the nicer house, Robyn had the nicer furnishings, and she always got the scrapes. And I think that's because Christine joined the family when they were struggling, and so because she was able to put up with a lot, Kody took advantage of that, whereas Robyn was his favorite wife, and he was trying to impress her, so obviously he was going to get her everything she wanted so that she could be happy and stay in the family. Because when she came into the family, I remember she came with conditions saying, I want my children to feel a part of the family, I want us to be welcomed. And when she didn't get what she wanted, she threw a fit, and then things started going left. So they drive down, they get to North Carolina, and Janelle is saying, this is where my life is. She has Savannah and Gabe still left in Flagstaff, but, her other boys are in Vegas. I don't know where Hunter is really. And then she has, Maddie, so she's moving closer to Maddie. And I assume once she's finished college, Savannah will be moving closer to her mom unless she decides to move elsewhere. So it's nice to see that Janelle is moving on with her life. She's, at peace. Christine speaks about the fact that she hopes Janelle will find someone once she's settled down. She sort of talks about how, Christine never got to travel because she was waiting for Kody, but Janelle was always traveling and sort of going to places that she wanted to see because she didn't want to wait on Kody. And Janelle says, if I had waited on Kody, I would have been waiting for the rest of my life. And so I had to do things that are in my best interest. And this has always been Janelle's policy, whereby she's always been independent, just like Meri. Whereas Christine, I think, wanted the ideal relationship with a loving partner and whatever. And at least now this is what she has. So you have Meri and Jen. I love Jen because she's the voice of reason that Meri needs, and she's the person to speak the truth to nonsense, which is what I need. Because Meri seems very respectful. Meri seems like she would never say or do anything to hurt the family, even though she's left the family and even though they treated her badly while she was in the family. Anyway, so Jen reveals that they received a text message, an email from someone wanting his money back because he placed an order on my sister's closet and he didn't get anything. So Meri screenshot the message and sent it to Robyn and said, well, hopefully Robyn will get in touch with him. And you have Robyn sitting there and saying, well, she's looking up, and you can tell she's lying because she's not looking in the camera. Why not look in the camera when you're telling the truth? Well, it's on pause and at times people will sneak in. Why not take the site down? Well, how about that? Why not take the site down? Well, some people will sneak in and place an order. Well, if they sneak in and place an order and pay you money, you must get an alert that you've received money. Why not send the money back and tell the person that, sorry, we're not doing anything, we're closed at the moment? Why not do that? Or why not put a message on your website to say currently not taking orders? How about that? And so for her to try and, I think Robyn, when she created My Sister Wife's Closet, expected everybody to be doing the work and for her to be the supervisor. And so Meri was willing to get along and she tried to help her as much as she could, but she was never going to take on that project. And I think seeing Meri with her clothing business, she expected to have the same success. And so when she didn't have it, she then sat back and decided, oh, well, it's not working, let me leave it alone. And so it creates a very negative impression because now people are nagging Meri when Meri has nothing to do with this. Meri was just helping out a sister wife. She wasn't the owner of the business. Sort out your own business with your clients. Anyway, it comes out that, Meri's saying that, I sort of questioned my relationship with Robyn because I thought we were very close friends. But then over the years, it's shocking that, she sort of abandoned me and, well, she sort of kept her distance, it seems. Because even Meri said it before and she repeated that, during COVID, I followed all the rules. Meri was one person. If she was asymptomatic, why not allow her to see your children? She said, I even offered for my children to play outside, and that still couldn't happen. And Robyn's excuse is the fact that, for the first year we were homeschooling. You're not homeschooling Monday to Sunday. Be for real. You're not homeschooling Monday to Sunday. Why didn't you allow Meri to, when she came, to see your children outside? What did you think she was going to do? At the end of the day, this is my opinion. Robyn saw a man that she liked. She saw a man that loved his wives and was giving his wives a lifestyle that she wanted. And so she found her way to get into the family by pretending. That's how it comes across, by pretending to be Meri's friend, and befriended Meri for a very long time because she realized that Christine and Janelle were not jumping on board and sort of be as welcoming as she expected them to be. And so when she realized that she was settled in the family and she didn't need Meri, that's when she distanced herself. And then now he's saying, oh, I always was there for Meri. I supported Meri even when people were isolating her or whatever. And it's like, madam, you were the head honcho. You were the head mistress of ignoring Meri. So please don't sit there and pretend as though you were any different. I wish Jen could be allowed a moment on camera at the reunion to have a conversation with, this woman and just give her a piece of her mind. We have Robyn talking about Aurora's baptism, the fact that it was totally different to hers. She feels like the family, failed because none of their children followed their teachings from their church and none of their children followed, into the same beliefs that they were in and so attended the same church. And it's like, they are adults. They're entitled to make their own decisions. There's no need for you to try and impose what you grew up on. You went to that church because that's what you grew up on. And because how can you blame everybody else? Teach your children in your household about your beliefs, and they can attend that. Whoever fails elsewhere, that's none of your business. So we get to see Kody playing the dutiful, dad, whispering in her ear his prayer and this. And it's like, you're there for Aurora and Brielle and whoever else, but you couldn't drive across states to attend to your daughter who was in severe pain due to her scoliosis. But you are there to be at a baptism. You're there to be at somebody getting their ears pierced. I'm not buying that nonsense. I love that Meri has been unleashed and she's free to speak her mind, because she's having a conversation with Jan and they're sort of discussing her friendship with Robyn, and she feels like she was deceived. And a lot of us, I think, beg to agree, because at the end of the day, when Robyn, before she got what she wanted, she was the closest of friends to Meri. Meri had been struggling in this relationship because Christine and Janelle were close. That left her on the outskirts. So when Robyn came in, she thought she had an ally, and she valued that relationship to the extent that she gave up her legal rights to her marriage because she thought she was doing that for her friend. And so for the friend to then turn out and sort of abandon her is something she didn't account for. And it seems when she got her house in Flagstaff, she got a bigger house with a playground at the back, and we all know Leon at this time had moved on, so it's not like she was getting all that for them. And so for her to do that and to follow the guidelines that she was given, it was only one person. You can say Christine had children coming and going. You can say Janelle had children coming and going, but you can't make an excuse for Meri, because Meri says there's no excusing it, because Robyn in her confessional was saying, because of COVID. And Meri said, no, even before COVID, nobody came to my house. Nobody came to see me. So it seems like Robyn was friends with Meri up until she got the legal marriage and she got Kody to adopt her kids. And then that was it. And she only relied or called upon Meri when she needed stuff. Things like when they needed to buy the house, then she called upon Meri to help her with the deposit, her and sort of Janelle. Otherwise, she was good, keeping Meri on the outskirts. For Robyn to try and make it seem like she's the victim, you're not the victim, love. Meri was right to say that I don't understand how I can be friends with my ex-husband's wife, because she was in the family. You came into the family for years. You never treated her as a close friend. But now that she's moved away, she's divorced her husband, you say you want to be friends with her. Robyn doesn't want to be friends with Meri. Robyn wants the relationship that Janelle and Christine have. So because she can't be included in that clique, she wants to now latch herself onto Meri. And I hope Meri stands her ground and says, no, you have Madison, Caleb, and Christine and Janelle, and they're having a conversation with David and his friend about the fact that Janelle has moved. This is her new life. I love this for Janelle, especially given the fact that she's grieving the loss of her son. At least this brings her closer to her only child with children, so she can be close to her grandkids. She can spend some time with her grandkids. She can be at peace knowing that the person she's with is not going to deceive her or lie to her. I loved the teasing, the fact that, you had David and Christine saying, we took your mom to a bar, we got her to try a shot, and we found her a man. And then Christine is always going to be petty. For her to mock Kody, saying, Janelle only wanted me because of my good pecs and my six-pack abs, that was just hysterical. That was just hilarious. And Kody saying, no, I don't have six-pack abs, I've got a washboard. And it's like, Kody, whatever you have, nobody wants it. Whatever you have, nobody wants it outside of your wife. So please, we don't waste our time, trying to sell us what we don't need. So you have Kody and his wife and their children celebrating, the fact that Aurora has got baptized. And they start to talk about soulmates and how, Kody was a Robyn's soulmate. And she said this before, that he was her soulmate. He says he was very impressed and it sort of hyped him up, the fact that she called him a soulmate. But then they didn't want to come out and say that Kody felt like Robyn was his soulmate, because their justification was that he was a polygamist and And so as a polygamist, he's not supposed to say it. And it's like, well, if he's not supposed to say it, then why are you saying it when there are 3 other wives there? Because you're more or less telling them that they are just there along for the journey, but you are the special one. And that's not how polygamy should work. The children say, we love watching the 2 of you growing up around you, has shown us the right example of what we want a relationship to be. And it's like, I don't think Kody and Robyn's relationship is as perfect as they make it out to be. I think they do like one another. I think Kody likes the fact that Robyn is the younger model of his other wives, but I don't think it's as perfect as they make it out to be. And their children, the fact that they're pretending to be amazing and sort of portray these wholesome images, the ribbons in their hair tied in the back and blah, blah, blah. I'm not buying it, because I remember seeing somewhere where they said the children go about Flagstaff and are horrible to people just because they're on TV. So the wholesome picture that Kody and his family are trying to portray, I don't get. The fact that they're calling him an amazing dad when we've all watched him neglect some of his other children, make it make sense. I make it make sense, because it's not making sense to me. He's got other children out there, and yet he says, I am a present dad, I'm loving towards my children and I'm guiding them. And it's like, so what's happening to your other children? Yes, he says Soul and what's her name, Aurora? No, what's her name? The youngest. The youngest, but Truly is also the youngest. How come he's not playing a fatherly role? David is more of a father to Truly than he is. I don't get it. You have Janelle and, the rest of her family with Christine and David and Maddie and Caleb sort of viewing the property, because apparently they made an offer on a property without seeing it, but they trusted Maddie. One thing about Janelle's children is they've always been level-headed. They've always known what they wanted and they've gone after it. They haven't involved themselves in unnecessary drama or pettiness, unlike Christine's children at times, who will say things that make you question why they would say anything negative about their other families. They've always been driven people. Even her late son, he had bought his property, was doing his thing. Maddie has moved out. She's married her husband. She's, raised her children, or she's raising her children. The same goes for Hunter. The same goes for the oldest. Oh my God, I've forgotten his name and I can actually see his face. So I'm happy that they got to see this, and it looks like a very big piece of land. It spits in the face of Coyote Pass, because it's 165 acres, whereas Coyote Pass, I think, is only 16 acres or even less than 16 acres. So I love this for her, and I know Kody, it must be grinding his nerves and his wife's nerves. I have a feeling they're going to start accusing Janelle of hiding money, because how did she afford to buy that piece of land? And it's like, Janelle has worked very hard, so please leave her alone. I love this for her. I'm happy that she's found this. Christine and David sort of mocking her and saying, we want to find a husband who's a landscaper, blah, blah, blah. They're crazy. I think Janelle will be happy on the land. Will she find someone? I don't know whether she's open to a relationship again. I think her time with Kody has really put her off people. So I love this. I hope she finds her person, just like I hope Meri finds a person, and I can't wait to see the next episode. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 20. Bye guys.